warm weather. We're going to the Caribbean. We're going to go to Cuba. It's called Cubanola. Over to Europe now. Tell me when will you be mine? Tell me quando, quando, quando we can share a love divine. Oh my love, please tell me when. When will you say yes to me? Tell me quando, quando, quando you need happiness for me. Oh my love, please tell me when. Every moment's a day. Every day it seems a lifetime. Let me show you the way to enjoy beyond compare. I can't wait a moment more. Tell me quando, quando, quando. Say it's me that you adore. And then darling, tell me when. accordion so often associated with Europe, and indeed the accordion can trace its roots back to about 1832, and in fact Vienna, Austria, where it was first patented, bringing together the concept of a free reed, which means a reed vibrating freely to give us a certain pitch, with the concept of the bellows. And the name accordion comes from the fact that it had the ability to play the notes in harmony with one another, particularly in the left hand of the instrument. The accordion evolved over the following pretty much sort of 50 years until the piano accordion first started appearing and the accordion became a full range of notes. But over time the accordion has certainly travelled the world. When you think of the accordion, although it started in Austria, two countries do spring to mind. Italy, of course, and also France. Now, the French actually got the accordions from the Italians. It was in the dance halls of Paris in the early 1900s. There were a lot of Italian labourers that were actually doing construction work in Paris at the time, and they brought their accordions to the dance halls and met with the local musicians. Traditionally, the other music that was played in the dance halls was often played by farmers who had come to Paris, bringing their traditional French bagpipes with them. And the bagpipes would often play the melody in the dance halls because of it being slightly out of tune, to be fair, so it carried over the sound of the people. And also, obviously, a very loud instrument in a time prior to amplification. The Italians and the bagpipe players from France got together and created a whole new style of music called French musette, and it sounds uniquely French. The reason for that is that after it was established in the dance halls, it went out into the streets of Paris, and it was a format of music that was designed for the player to follow very, very closely. Basically what would happen is they would play a melody, and at the end of playing through that melody, they would stop, they would take off their hat and pass it around the crowd that had hopefully gathered. If there was enough money in the hat, the performer would carry on with the next section, alright, and then come back to the main melody. And at the end of that section through, he would take his hat off again and pass it around the crowd and see if there was enough money. If there was, he would go and do a trio section. Like that. After playing the trio, he'd come back one final time to the main melody, and guess what he'd do when he got to the end of the piece? He'd take off his hat and pass it around to see if there was any money in it. So here's a piece of music in that French musette style. It's called Reine de Musette. You know, I've made one very big mistake tonight. I didn't wear a hat. From France, we're going to stick with that French idea, and a French song translation is "It's so good." C'est si bon. C'est bon. Lovers say that in France, when they thrill to romance, because it's so good. C'est bon. So I say it to you, like the French people do, because it's so good. Oh, every song, every sign, every pistil leads to only one thought, and it is this dear. It's so good, nothing else can replace just your fondest embrace. And if you only hold me higher for the rest of my days, I will whisper this phrase, so darling, c'est bon. Leads to only one thought, and it is this dear. It's so good, nothing else can replace just your fondest embrace. And if you only hold me my own for the rest of my days, I will whisper this phrase, but darling, c'est bon. Oh, c'est si bon. Oh, c'est si bon. Oh, c'est si bon. Yeah. C'est si bon, a little taste of France there. From France, we're going to jump now across the Atlantic and down to South America, in fact. To Argentina, the home of the tango. A lot of people think of tangos as being Spanish because Spanish sailors trading with the New World took the tango back to Europe with them, and the association was born. But tango certainly is a uniquely South American form of music. It uses the syncopated rhythms that one would experience in other Latin American dances. Certainly those rhythms actually can be traced directly back to Africa, a country you don't often associate with sort of popular music, but indeed it was the African rhythms that in North America provided the seeds for jazz, and then throughout the Caribbean for all the Latin style of music, with the black Africans working on the sugar plantations, and even in South America, the samba in Brazil, and the tango in Argentina. This tango is actually not Argentinian. In fact, it's not even Spanish. It was written by a Dane, apparently, but you'll probably recognise it, I hope. If I get any wrong notes, it's the guy on the video that's doing the wrong notes, not me. music and with the ability to travel with the accordion, and certainly as Gordon said, I have had a chance to be able to travel and play overseas in a couple of different capacities. Certainly going and performing at various accordion festivals and events, and also doing other things like many years ago I did a slot at the Frankfurt Music Fair, and it was just mentioned before about the fact that I've been to Russia to perform a couple of times. Last year the World Accordion Championships were held in Russia, in a city called Rostov-on-Don. And it was an opportunity to go along and actually support my daughter, who was competing in the junior category of the World Championships. She came 8th, so I can be a proud dad with that, I'm pleased to say. But in the opening concert I got asked if I could do a bit of playing as well, so I did a guest spot at the World Accordion Championships, which was a lot of fun. But previous trips I'd done to Russia, or not the previous, but certainly a couple of the trips before that I'd done to Russia, were actually not as an accordion player, but actually as a singer. I had the opportunity to record a CD with a Russian orchestra, and I decided that I'd like to do songs from stage and screen. So who here likes songs from the stage shows and the movies? Yeah. So I'm going to put the accordion down for a bit and just sing a couple of songs from a couple of shows, using a backing track as well. It's a good idea because, you know, accordion is a funny instrument. You know, when you play the piano, everyone says, "Oh, you play the piano, that's wonderful." And when you say, "Oh, I play the accordion," and they say, "Oh, do you play anything else?" So, I'm going to put the accordion down and I'm going to sing a couple of songs. Provided technology works, after we've known that the video hasn't been working quite right, well, fingers crossed. Yeah. Trying to find the right track. This one. From Les Miserables.
Oh, it's lovely. One of my favourites.
I haven't sung it yet. I might make a hash of it.
It's a beautiful song.
God on high, hear my prayer. In my needs, you have always been there. He is young, he's afraid. Let him rest, heaven blessed. Bring him home, bring him home, bring him home. He's like the son I might have known if God had granted me a son. For summers die one by one, how soon they fly on, and I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He is young, he is only a boy. You can take, you can give, let him be, let him live. If I die, let me die. Let him live. Bring him home. Bring him home. Bring him home. record this CD in a city called Novosibirsk, which is slap bang in the middle of Siberia. And being a very sensible singer, as I am, I decided the best time to go to Siberia and record the CD was in the middle of January, which is actually a very cold time in Siberia. Does the number minus 40 mean anything to you? I can tell you minus 40 is very cold, but they do say music's the international language, and although the CD was all recorded there, brought all the raw recordings back to Stebbings Recording Centre in Ponsonby there, put it all together into the CD, and then had a bit of fun travelling around the country a little bit, trying to do some of the promotion with some of the radio stations. Did some stuff with News Talk ZB, went down to Dunedin a couple of times to a show they have on a Monday night in Radio Dunedin called Songs from Stage and Screen. I did do something with Radio Live as well, and it's a couple of years ago now, but it was a friend of mine phoned me up on a Friday afternoon while I was at work. And he says, Lionel, he says, are you listening to Radio Live? I says, no, I'm not. Why? And he says, they're talking about you on the radio. They're talking about your CD. Now, when you go to these radio stations, you leave them with a copy of the CD quite often, which I've done. This particular radio host was talking about my CD, said it was there, and he said he was going to play some tracks from it. So my friend says to me, he says, if you tune in, you'll probably hear something about it. I thought, that's a good idea. And I did what all professional musicians would do in that situation. I phoned my mum. Mum, I'm going to be on the radio, I said. And Mum tuned in. And in hindsight, I probably shouldn't have told Mum, because the radio host in question was a guy by the name of Paul Henry. Paul Henry described my CD as follows. He said, and I quote, "It is a picture of a fat man in an ill-fitting suit singing into a rose." My mother was not impressed. On the other hand, I thought that's not so bad, because if the worst thing that Paul Henry can say about my CD is that I need to lose some weight, the CD can't be that bad, can it? So, when you're doing songs from stage and screen, there's one composer you really have to do, and he's, you could think of him as being the king of the West End Broadway stages. He is not a king, but he is a lord, which is the next best thing. And Lord Andrew Lloyd Webber, famous for some of his musicals like Phantom of the Opera. There's songs from Phantom of the Opera on the CD. But also this song from not Sunset Boulevard. That's on the CD too. Aspects of Love. And this song is called Love Changes Everything. Love changes everything, hands and faces, earth and sky. Love changes everything, how you live and how you die. Love can make a summer fly, or a night seem like a lifetime. Yes, love changes everything. Now I tremble at your name. Nothing in the world will ever be the same. Love changes everything. Days are longer, words mean more. Love changes everything. Pain is deeper than before. Love will turn your world around, and that world will last forever. Yes, love changes everything. Brings you glory, brings you shame. souls of everyone. All the rules we make are broken. Yes, love changes everyone. Live or perish in its flame. Love will never, never let you be the same. Love will never, never let you be the same. So if you like those sorts of songs, and things like I said, Phantom of the Opera and My Fair Lady, and what else is there? Annie.
Butch Cassidy.
That's not on there, no. Singing in the Rain is on there though. But if you like those sorts of songs, that CD is called From Russia with Love. One of the songs on it is From Russia with Love. So you might be able to find it. Those of you who are good with the iTunes, it's on iTunes. For those of you who aren't good with iTunes, I do happen to have some with me today. They are $25. If anyone would like one, do see me at the end and I'd be happy to help you out with that as well. For those of you who aren't so keen on the singing but do like music and do like the accordion, a little another advertisement here. This coming Saturday night at the Rose Theatre in Belmont at 6 o'clock, the Auckland Accordion Sinfonietta is holding one of its well, I won't say annual concerts because we do them twice a year, but we're doing our mid-year community concert. It's entry by donation. It's featuring a couple of guest artists who are going to be representing in accordion overseas in the coming months. Angela Chen from Northcote, who's going up to China to an accordion competition. One of my students, Owen Fan from Pakuranga, who's going up to the World Accordion Championships in Italy. But the Accordion Orchestra is performing. The theme of the concert is called Rhapsody. So we're doing things like Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. We're doing Croatian Rhapsody. Two other Rhapsodies. We're doing a Rhapsody for Accordion and Orchestra written by an Auckland composer, Gary DeVerne. The soloist for that, the accordion solo, will be Campbell Bettridge, who's been an accordion teacher for many years on the North Shore. And we're also going to be doing an arrangement of George Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue with a piano soloist. The piano soloist is my daughter, Alexandra, who's just turned 16. So if you want to hear what Rhapsody in Blue by Gershwin sounds like with accordion and piano, it's a chance to come on along. I will just take a little moment to say a big thank you as well, because when we booked the Rose Theatre, we checked, you got a piano? Yes. And we discovered only a very short time ago, they confirmed, yes, we've got a piano. It's an old upright, which doesn't really quite work for the piano solo of Rhapsody in Blue. I'm pleased to say that the nice people at Music Planet in Takapuna have come to the party and have been able to source a grand piano for us to use for the concert. And I noticed that Roger Smith is hiding in the audience here as well. So I think we should give a big thank you to Roger Smith. So if you want to see what a good baby grand piano sounds like, come along and and listen to that concert at 6 o'clock on Saturday evening, the Rose Centre in Belmont, and it's entry by donation. Hopefully some of you, if you're free, might like to come along and hear that. Back to some music now, and I sang a song by, well, perhaps one of the greatest composers for the Broadway stage, but this next song is one that was written by one of the greatest songwriters, I guess, of the American history of music. The song, very, very famous for a version sung by Frank Sinatra. This isn't Frank Sinatra's version. The piece of music, though, was written by Cole Porter. I've got you under my skin. I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me, so deep in my heart, you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin. I've tried so And darling, I know so well I've got you under my skin. I'd sacrifice anything, come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of the warning voice that comes in the night and repeats in my ear. Don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. But each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin, because I have got you under my skin. Come what might, for the sake of having you near, in spite of the warning voice that comes in the night and repeats how it yells in my ear. Why don't you know, little fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, wake up to reality. Stop before I begin, because I've got you under my skin. Because I've got you under my skin. Because I've got you under my skin. It's funny playing next to a screen like this because when you watch the television you always expect to see the performer on the stage looking at you through the screen, and for some reason every time I look at the screen he's just got his back to the audience. But I don't know why that is. It's a funny day for performances today. Actually, I was playing up at the Silverdale RSA, or it's now called the Silverdale and Districts RSA, I think, in Vaipon Road up Pongaparoa. Playing up there this afternoon, and they have a trading table, and I got in trouble because I was playing and I couldn't help myself. They had all these old DVDs for sale that they were selling, and they had children's DVDs, children's DVDs, $2. And then I pointed out to the audience that it must be a real fun club to belong to, because next to the children's DVDs they said adult DVD movies, $2. And I thought, adult DVDs, that sounds a bit risque for a section of an RSA, doesn't it? But I have to say, as soon as I said that, they packed them away, so I never got a chance to see that. Do have time, I think, for one more, and if I don't have time, now's a good time to leave, because I'm about to do another one. So this is one more Italian piece of music, I guess. Italian sort of, although it starts like a tango and it finishes with a bit of a rock and roll rhythm. It's a chance to say good night or good evening, or as they say in Italy, buonasera. Buonasera, signorina, buonasera. Well, it's time to say goodnight to Napoli. Though it's hard for us to whisper buonasera without that old moon beneath the Mediterranean Sea. In the morning, Signorina, we'll go walking where the mountains and the sand come into sight. By a little jewelry shop, we'll stop and linger while I buy a wedding ring for your finger. In the meantime, let me tell you that I love you. Buenos Aires, Signorina, kiss me goodnight. Buenos Aires, Signorina, kiss me goodnight. Buenos Aires, Signorina, Buenos Aires. Well, it's time to say goodnight to Napoli. Though it's hard for us to whisper Buenos Aires without a moon above the Mediterranean Sea. In the morning, Signorina, we'll go walking where the mountains and the sand come into sight. By a little jewelry shop, we'll stop and linger while I buy a wedding ring for your finger. In the meantime, let me tell you that I love you. Buenos Aires, Signorina, kiss me goodnight. Buenos Aires, Signorina, Buenos Aires. Well, it's time to say goodnight to Napoli. Oh, it's hard for us to whisper Buenos Aires